All right, welcome everyone to Here for the Horses. Glad you're here for the horses. We have a fun time scheduled for today. I talked a little bit about it already before I started, but we're gonna go over what the homework is gonna be for this week, okay? And then we're also going to go over skin rolling, so that should be fun because I don't talk about that too much. So I did notice as we were working on the shoulders this week, I noticed a couple horses that needed a little bit of skin rolling. So I kind of told them how to do it. And then they looked it up and did a great job. And then I thought I'd shoot you guys a video. So we'll watch that and you can add that to your homework this week if you want to give it a try. It's interesting. I don't do a ton of it. And I'll talk about why I don't do a ton of that later today as we discuss it. And then let's see. I just got some comments and stuff on some of the homework that you guys did, which was awesome. So first, let me pull up our video for today. It was so cute. I had to share it. It was too cute. It was too cute. All right. And we'll talk about this situation too, actually. We'll talk about that right afterward. Yeah, here it is. Watch this video, you guys. It's so cute. Isn't that cute? Little babies playing with them. I love that. So that was the one I noticed today that was pretty cool. Let's talk real quick, just because it's something that I want to always remember to tell people because it's not common knowledge and I feel like it should be. Gretchen contacted me today, which I'm glad she thought of me. You know what I mean? This is her horse Scotch, and he has been through it a little bit because he just got moved from his private chateau to a public barn with a lot of horses. So it's quite a change for him, and he's suffering from a little bit of colic, a little bit of stress colic. And she messaged me and said he's a little sunk in at the stomach and the flank. He's, he is pooping and he is drinking water, so that's always good. But she was worried about him and she asked me if there's anything that she can do to help with colic. Okay. So I want to tell you a little story about this because I think it's really interesting. I was massaging a horse once. Well, I pulled him out. He was my regular client. I pulled him out of his out of his stall and I looked at him and I was like, what the heck happened to you? His name was Tex. He was a thoroughbred. He was giant. He was huge. He was all distended and bloated, and he obviously was going through a gas colic at that moment. And I was like, whoa, why do you look like this? Everything was drawn really tight. Well, hi, Elaine. How you doing? Everything was drawn really tight. And I was worried about him. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to start massaging him, but I'm going to call his owner right now and let her know. So I called and left a message. I didn't get an answer. So I start massaging him. And this particular horse, I always started on his hind end. And that's a whole different story. But most of his tension, if I started at the hind end, by the time I got to his face and neck, it was all gone. So I kind of always started with his hind end. So I started with his hind end again. And as I'm massaging his glutes, deep gluteal, he starts passing gas. And I'm telling you, for the next 30 minutes, it was like a balloon deflating. He was passing gas the entire 30 minutes I was massaging his rumpus. So I didn't stop massaging his glutes until he was back to his normal size. So that stuck in my head like, wow, that made his gas colic go away. So again, I run into a situation where a horse was colicking and I just happened to be there. And I said, can I try something on them? It won't hurt them. And they knew me. So they were like, yeah. So I start massaging the glutes of this horse that was going through a colic. About 10 minutes in, that horse went poop. Okay. And the owner was like, oh my gosh, that's what we were wanting, is that horse to go to the bathroom because he was slightly impacted. So that loosened up his system. So then I'm like, okay, now I need to talk to somebody about this. The next time I had this one particular vet that worked in the area, and he was always really open to listening to me about massage questions. And like, I'm always trying to like put things together. And I said to him, I said, hey, I had these two situations, and I was talking to him about both of them. And he goes, this is how he says it. Oh, yeah, totally. That can totally help massage, can help colic. And I was like, really? Don't you think that should be like common knowledge? Because that's kind of important. And that's like the number one killer of horses is colic. And he kind of said it in like oh yeah, it's kind of like babies when they're colicking, you bump them on the butt, right? And I was like, yeah, but that's not taught anywhere. So just so you know, if your horse is having a colic, and then the other thing I asked, because I always want to make sure of this, is there any possibility that this could hurt them or make them worse, right? Because that's another concern you would have. And he said, no, it's not going to hurt them. So I said, well, okay, then I'm going to start telling people that. And I've run across it multiple times now, where if a horse is colicking, you can definitely help them out by doing some deep gluteal, pressing deep. Okay. So sometimes if you can, in between, when you're walking them or whatever you're doing, dig into those glutes, and it'll help them. It'll help them with either, for sure, with a gas colic, and then also with just a regular colic. It gives them a lot of relief also. There's also 2 points under the tail that makes them pass gas almost 80–90% of the time. So it's at like 10 and 1 are the points. So right around the little butthole, if you put your thumb at 10 and 1 o'clock, it will almost always make them pass gas. So you can try that on your horse this week. I normally do the opposite side. So I'll stand on the opposite side, and your hand will fit right into the spot, and it's kind of right next to the tail. Okay. Give that a try and see if your horse passes gas. That's another thing that can help if they're having a gas colic. Okay. So I thought that was interesting. And the reason I brought that up was because little Scout here, no, Scotch, had kind of a stress colic going on. And then she messaged me and said, is there anything I can do? I said, yeah, rub the gluteals. And then you can tell afterward he's feeling a lot better. Okay. So pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Just to give them relief, just to give them relief, because colic sucks and it's scary for everyone involved. Okay. All right. Next thing, homework for this week. Are you ready? Everybody gets their pen. Homework for this week. Hold on. I had time to do my thing. Here we go. Is this the one? Nope, that's not it. Here it is. Okay. It is the pectoral rub and the bicep rub. Pectoral rub, bicep rub. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about that. For those of you who are wondering what I'm talking about homework, we're doing Journey Through the Horse. Okay. And each week I give out homework, and then the participants do the homework, and they can submit videos of them doing the homework. And we're going to see a couple of those today. And then we go over it on Sundays, which is today. And then you get new homework. and it's been pretty awesome. I'll tell you that right now. It's been pretty awesome. This has been an awesome group of people. So, and horses. I'll give the horses a little bit of credit. They came with some issues. They're slowly getting rid of them. It's pretty awesome. Okay, so I'll put the link for that. All you need is my clinic. That's all you need in order to get involved with this. It's easy. And then you have my clinic for lifetime. It's a lifetime membership along with my coaching group. Okay, you get into my coaching group, which is a private group. I don't let randoms in there. All right, you have to have my clinic. So pectoral, let's talk a little bit about it. Okay. The pectorals, I need you to be a little bit careful when you're going in. Because if you go in hot, you can get bit. This is where you get bit if your horse has tight pectorals. If your horse is girthy, it can be a couple things, but I always check the pectorals, and I also always check the saddle fit. Pectorals are a major player in girthy horses. Okay. There are multiple pectorals. There's technically four groups of pectorals. So I want to show you a little bit of that, because if you Google equine pecs, you're going to come up with a couple different views. Okay. The pectorals do go up into the chest. You got to be careful with these like Google things sometimes, because they're a little bit off sometimes. I do love these photos here though. Okay, everybody can see these. So this is the main pectoral that I will go after for stuff. Do you see how it's connected to the foreleg? Okay. So remember I did that post a little while ago with I want a picture of your horse's chest. And a lot of people submitted photos, and their horses were like this. Some of them were like this. Some of them were like this, right? So you can have two tight pectorals, you can have one tight pectoral, or you can be good. Okay, so that's these little guys here that pull that leg in. Okay, so that's why to release that pectoral, I reach up into the armpit and I grab this little section right here that goes down to the foreleg, and I squeeze it like a pork loin. It's the size of a pork loin. Okay. Okay, so here's a different view. This is from underneath, obviously. And then there's the other set of pectorals that actually goes back this direction. Now, what goes right here? The girth. Okay. So the girth goes right there. That's why if you have tight pectorals, then you can have a girthy horse. Okay. The other thing I'm gonna talk to you about why I call it the pectoral slap here in a second, but I want to look up equine bicep. It's not the femoris because that's in the hind end. What is it? Brachii. Bicep. There it is. Let's see what they got for this. Okay, good. We'll look at that in a second. Okay, so again, with the pectoral slap, the reason I say slap is because if they're really sensitive to it, they don't like the rub for whatever reason. They don't like it. They don't like it. So slap them. And you think to yourself, I don't want to slap a horse that doesn't like something. I'll tell you what, though, they're going to say, oh, all right. Okay, because remember the slapping has kind of a deadening. It's kind of a deadening technique. So it takes some of the nerves that are really angry. It kind of tells them to be quiet. So I have some great videos on my open page, my Winning Your Horse's Heart page and maybe I'll put them on the coaching page, but I'll bring them up to the top of the Winning Your Horse's Heart in case you're not in the coaching group. But I have this mare that I was working on, and I can't use her as an example anymore because she doesn't have pectoral problems anymore. But the first time I went out there, they were like, she's really girthy. And I was like, okay. And these guys have their saddle fit like every 6 months. So I was pretty sure it wasn't a saddle issue. And I go, okay. And I videotape my sessions, as you guys know. And so I go to slide my hand to that pectoral, and she was like, I'll kill you on both sides. Not happy. Right. And I go, okay. And so I started slapping her, and she was like, acceptable, carry on. Okay. So I slap for like a minute. And then I go to slide, because normally if you slap them for a little while, they get kind of used to it. And then you can kind of slide in some rubbing, because the rubbing is really what kind of helps, you know, some friction and stuff like that. So I would throw in a rub every once in a while. She'd go, I'll kill you. Okay. And so I have this really funny series of videos where it goes from her not accepting any rubs at all. It all has to be slaps, to the next video, which was 2 months later. She was like 50-50. She's like, yeah, you can rub it now. And now she doesn't have any pectoral issues at all. So it's pretty exciting. That's pretty exciting. She's absolute doll. And she's always been a doll, but she was very clear about what she was going to accept from you and what she wasn't. So that's why I call it the pectoral slap. I want you to slap it first. And then you can always rub it, right? Always rub it. So going to do both those. The next one we're going to do is the bicep rub. So let me show you where the bicep is first. Here we go. Okay. It's right here, right there. Okay. There you go. There's a side view. Okay. So I like to hit the bicep as I'm going down the scapula. So I just swing it all the way around that shoulder there. Okay. So as I'm going up and down, we just did the scapula rub, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, swing it around that point of shoulder and hit that bicep. They generally want you to do that. Okay. So up and down, swing it around that shoulder, swing it around that shoulder. There you go. Okay. This is a nice one. It works really well. And you can slap that also. Your hand in this shape is going to fit that bicep really nice. Okay. So as you're kind of going down the scapula, just swing it around, swing it around. And sometimes I'll like squeeze it as I go down. They like that. Okay. All right. So let me put up, in case anyone needs the clinic. And it's not too late to join. I have people joining all the time. Because you have lifetime membership to it. So, and you have recordings, so you're good to go. Oops, I missed I've been slacking on my, there you go. Messages here. 2 gas colics for Jazz. I didn't know about the glutes. I'm sorry. I should have been saying that more, but the bladder meridian makes a huge difference. Okay. That's good to know. That's super good to know. Bladder meridian, if you guys follow meridians and stuff. Okay. Right on. Thanks, Carol. That's cool. Yeah, gas colics are interesting, you know, because you're like, it's air, you know. But I'll show those points at some point in time. Carol, you know Masterson method, don't you? Where
Yeah.
are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know the points under the tail also.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, so pectoral slap and rub. Don't forget the rub. And I should have added on to the clinic you can also slap well, you can slap everything, let's be real. But for the shoulder rub, I want you to slap also. Okay. And then the bicep rub. They love the bicep rub, so you'll enjoy that also. That'll be fun. Okay. Any questions so far? We're gonna dive into some skin rolling. Okay. Skin rolling. What is it? Well, it's a technique used to free up stuck skin. Now, if you read about it, it also says that it frees up muscle adhesions. Now, I don't know about that. So I'm not going to claim that, because skin rolling doesn't, you're not messing with a muscle. So I'm not sure how it would free a muscle adhesion. Now, it does free the adhesions that can form in between the muscle and the skin, okay? So if you have adhesions in between there that are keeping this skin stuck to the muscle like that, it will free that up, but I don't feel like skin rolls affect the actual muscle. That's just me, but most claim that it does. So I prefer to contact the muscle specifically to loosen adhesions, but okay. So it's a technique used to free stuck skin. When are you going to do it? Well, there's a couple interesting things about that. When am I going to do it? Well, I'm going to do it when I can, right? So skin rolls on the glutes ain't going to happen, right? There's always exceptions. If you have like a really old horse, right, where they're more skin and bones than they are muscle, you probably can get some skin rolls, but I would prefer to do like a friction to help that skin liven up a bit. But I'm going to do the skin rolls where I can. So, well, when I can do them, so where I can do them. And then I'm also going to do them when the skin is the issue. So when the skin is not moving, that's where I'm going to do skin rolls. I don't do them a ton, I'll be honest with you, but I have some awesome examples today. And it is something to work on so that you have it in your toolbox. Okay. Where am I going to do them? Well, the most common place is the shoulder. And that's the two that we're going to look at today. You can also do it on the chest, although I don't think I've ever done them on the chest. I've done them a little bit on the forelegs, which is kind of weird because you can get that skin on the upper foreleg there. Okay. Let's see. Anywhere else is just going to be like, I don't know where you would do it. The eyelids. I don't know. Okay. Why are you going to do them? So there's a lot of benefits to the skin rolling. I'm going to talk a little bit about how a lot of these benefits come with how I do skin rolls. Okay. So, one, skin rolls increase the temperature of the skin. Yes, the neck, Stephanie. Yeah, totally. Neck and shoulder. Yeah. I do it on the neck. Yeah. So it increases the temperature of the skin, and that when you increase the temperature of the skin, you help it relax. Remember our Fun with Fascia month? February is Fun with Fascia month. Okay, we talked about fascia. And the when you warm it up, it relaxes. Okay. Stimulates the skin, hair, and coat. Okay. It stimulates the hair, skin, and coat. So does massage. A lot of these benefits are massage also. So massage also stimulates the skin, increases blood flow. Anything that increases blood flow, whether it's massage, movement, PEMF, whatever it is a good thing. Okay. It can break down fascial restrictions and loosen collagen fibers that restrict movement. I think that's a big one. I think that's the biggest one, to be honest with you. Beamer, yeah. Yep. Yep. So any sort of restriction that's caused by either skin or the adhesions between the skin and the muscle, and then a little bit of the fascia. So again, fascia is going to be influenced, but you know, we're really rolling the skin. But on a couple areas of the shoulder, you'll feel where it goes from skin into fascia. It's pretty cool. It's that thick spot there that gets bigger in the summer because they have the twitch with the fly thing. That whole shoulder, the whole shoulder area there, you'll see it. You'll see it when you see it. It's a big help for scar tissue. And we talked about that with the fascia. So it helps a lot with scar tissue. I always tell people, any of my friends or any of my clients, if their animals get, if they get like a big cut, it's going to take a while to heal. I say, when that heals, let me know, because you can do massage is going to break the scar tissue up. You don't want that scar tissue to set and then start affecting other areas of the body. And then also skin rolls help that. Okay. And it can decrease tension and pain. There's actually a lot of benefits to it that are listed, but the main ones that I do it for are whenever the skin is stuck to an area and it's restricting either the movement of the skin or the movement of, it can affect their whole body. It can affect that whole area, which then in turn affects the whole body. Okay. There's also something called an S shape. And I'm going to talk about skin rolls in a second, and I have a video that we're going to watch for that. But the S shape is when you, like if this is the skin, you go like this and you move it in different directions like that. Okay. So you're making that skin move instead, if it's stuck like this, you're making it move like this, and then it loosens up. It's really cool. And I like doing that when I find that. And you can do that on areas that you can't do skin rolls. There you go. Okay. So you can try that one too. Some people just use their they just use their fingertips or whatever, if they're real specific. I mean, you can do circles, right? Yep. So on the neck, it would be an up and down movement. It can be any movement. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It's whatever way the skin doesn't want to move. You're gonna say move. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the video that I created. Oh, I should show you guys something else first. Some of you don't know who this is, but this is Chester. And I put my first ride on Chester yesterday, and it was fun. So Chester is he's my little rescue Arabian. He's got some hind end trauma issues. And so I've been working on him a year, and I haven't ridden him yet because that was not my concern, is riding. My concern was fixing his trauma in his hind end. And we're doing great with that. But I put my first ride on him yesterday, and it was fun. It was fun. He's insecure. He's an insecure horse. My stirrups were too short. But you know, when you get on a horse for the first time, you do not get off. You're like, I'm not going to fix my stirrups. I'm going to ride like this. So I felt like one of those riders that kind of like, they sit back a lot and their feet are forward. But I was like, I don't care. Let's do this. And so it was funny because I wanted him to walk and he wanted to trot. And so we compromised and he jogged. So it was good. It was good. But he built a little bit of confidence, and then I hopped off and told him he was a good boy. And today he came up to me and said hi. So he's not too mad. That's good. But he did good. I'm excited to ride him again. So it'll be fun. Okay. So those of you who know who Chester is, it's been a long, oh, here, I'll show you guys this photo. You can see my stirrups are too short. But he did good. He did good. He was a happy boy. I think he was just glad to have something to do. So that was fun. Okay. So let's watch this video. We'll go here, and I don't know where I put it. Oh, here it is. Okay. Skin rolling. And this is on my YouTube channel. The whole thing is, we're not going to watch the whole thing. I'm just going to show you the first like 4 minutes of it. Okay. And sorry, it was super windy today. I do skin rolls the most is going to be the scapula area. Can you guys hear that? Summertime, where they get that fascia line, like right here from the fly twitch. I'll use it for that too. But you can tell she's a bit tight there on the scapula. So Generally, I'm doing this to influence the skin and the fascia. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is warm the area up. Because remember, fascia is influenced a lot by warmth. Okay, so you want to warm it up first. Right? Up and down. This is probably the most typical place I'll do it. Sometimes I'll do it on the neck a little bit. So if your horse's skin is really stuck, like it's stuck right here, I can feel, but you know, like it moves pretty good down here, but it's stuck right here a little bit. And you can kind of see it goes along with like the tighter areas. Like it's moving okay as a sheet, right? But like little parts like this, when I went like that, that didn't move nicely. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm feeling. And all this looks like it's kind of stuck down, all right? So warm it up good. Sometimes they don't really appreciate this. So I'll either have them tied, I mean loosely, whatever I normally do, or I will have a hand on the halter, okay? So skin rolls, I try to go in this direction because it makes it easier than going up, but you can do whatever. The first thing I do is I kind of pinch it, and then I get a hold of it a little bit, and then I go in with the other hand and I grab a little bit more. Okay, so see how she's like, what? What do you do? Okay, so she's got her eye on me now. So I try to get about that much. Now, sometimes you can just hold this skin and kind of tell it to come up off the body a little bit. There. And they generally kind of like, oh, away from it a little bit, but just go nice and slow. Okay. And you can just go to different areas. Like, see, this is real loose. Like, I'm not even concerned about that, but oh, that's tight. Okay. So kind of feel for different areas that are tight, that don't want to move. That's loose. That's loose now. So she's loosening up pretty easily. Oh, that's tighter. So funny, right along that line that's real tight. It's tight. Yeah, that's a little tighter. Yeah, there we go. Hers is loosening up pretty easy. Okay. So they generally kind of like go away from you when you do that, just so you know. Okay, so that's kind of the first move I do. Well, that's the second. The first move is warm it up. The second is grab like a little piece and just kind of get a hold of it and then kind of like look around. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to roll it. See what I'm doing? Grab more and let some go. And it's just going to roll under your fingers. Okay, so grab some skin, roll it. There you go. Grab skin. And you can do this as slow or as fast as you want. So here's an area that I feel is like a little more stuck down. So this is when I go in for the whole fist grab. And I kind of roll it up over my fingers. Like that. Okay. And it's pretty normal that they walk away like that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. Then you can rub it. Make sure they're not too mad at you. Okay. Grab it. So here's another spot I'm going to just grab and hold. And you can feel it coming up off their body. Sure, pretty. You sure are a pretty girl. Have you always been this pretty, or is it just recent, or? Huh? I bet you're a cute baby. Yeah. Pretty girl. Yeah, she's pretty. She's pretty redhead. Pretty red. Oh, yeah, those. There we go. Jiggle. Okay. And then roll. So I'm kind of grabbing, pulling, and then my thumb is pushing under it. And then you can switch. Okay, and you can do it the other direction. Well, that's not as easy. Okay. So you can try some skin roll this week, especially if your horse gets real tight right in here. You know.
And I know you want
harder. So yeah, I normally end up just doing this. Like I find the tight spot and then I kind of grab onto it.
other work.
There, nice. That feels a lot better. And I forgot in the video, it doesn't tell you guys to slap. You can always slap this area also. Okay, so let's try the other side. Hold on. All right, so if you want to watch the other side be done, go ahead and grab go onto my YouTube, okay? And I have that whole video up there and it's open to the public, so you can watch the other side too. I took some before and after photos, so I'll put those up and show those and then give people the link for that also, just so everyone can kind of see. It's fun to try that stuff out. And what I want to show you is so the reason I thought of this was because I saw a couple horses this week when I got my eyes on their shoulder that needed that. One of them was Joy. Okay, so I want to show you the before and after. So I actually told Jocelyn to do this on Joy, do some skin rolls. Okay, and so it was interesting. I'm not going to give credit to the skin rolls, but I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Here we go. And sorry, these photos are not the best. I always try to make photos so that they are exactly the same angle and stuff. And I couldn't do it because I'm taking these off of videos. But this is what I saw. Okay, so this is the before photo. Okay, this is what I saw. Now, clearly, the skin is stuck there, right? Can we all see that? I don't want to see this on horses' scapulas. I want a big fat pillow on a scapula. Now, every horse is built different. Okay. So Chester is not going to have a big fat pillow because he's a little dude, right? But I don't want to see the muscles and the skin being pulled tight where it's like you can outline it like this. Okay. So this is where the scapula rub's going to come in. Okay. And then I suggested also skin rolls because I know this skin is stuck because it looks stuck. Okay. Now this is this is a video of the shoulder, and sorry, it's windy today. So like, I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but when I was watching these videos, it was like blurry. This is the follow-up that she gave me. Now, I tell you, I'm not giving skin rolls the credit because Joy came out looking better after the work that she did on the shoulders. So what happened is that, this was before the scapula rub. She did the scapula rub, and then I don't know how many days were in between these two, but she came out looking better and technically didn't really need the skin rolls, although she did a great job with that follow-up and doing the skin rolls. Okay. So it's just going to loosen it up even more. But the massage work that she did on this day really loosened that shoulder up. Okay. So pretty awesome. But this is what catches my eye, stuff like this on that scapula. And then I want it, see how this looks like a big fat pillow? That's what I want. And I want you to be able to scale that to whatever horse you have. Your real kind of lanky horses, it still should look soft. Okay. This is a shorter, stockier horse that's very muscular. So a lot of times with this scapular spine that's right here, okay, the muscles will be kind of, oops, I better stop share here. The muscles will be the scapular spine on the scapula like sticks out like this, okay? And then the muscles attach on the side of it, okay? So when you have a really beefy horse, the muscles, kind of like in the hind end, will go up over and be big fat muscles. And so that scapular spine is actually the groove, which is what you saw on Joy. But if you have a leaner horse, okay, so you have the scapula here, the muscles just kind of either match it, and sometimes the scapular spine sticks out. Okay. So it depends on what type of horse you have. If you run your hand across the scapula and you can feel this ridge, then you probably have either these are really, really tight or you have a leaner horse. Okay. But if you rub your fingers across and you feel a dip like that, these are muscles. Okay. And the scapular spine is actually down here, and then the scapula is here. Okay. So it just depends on what type of horse you have. Same with hind ends, right? The big booty that goes in a heart shape, and then some of them are just flat. Okay, it's just the different types of horses. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at when I see tight muscles. That's where I would probably do a skin roll. And then also in the summertime, there is a muscle. It's like a fascia sheet and muscle that is a twitch muscle, and it gets the flies off them. And so you'll see that ridge across the scapula. It's like skin, and then it gets thicker. Okay. And in the summer, it can be really pronounced, and people wonder about it. And I go, oh yeah, that's normal, but you can loosen it up, right? It's tight because they're using it a lot to get them flies off. Okay, so definitely you don't really want to see that in the winter. So loosen that up for them. They'll appreciate it. Okay. So that was Joy. That was awesome. Okay, any questions on skin rolls? No? Give it a try this week. Just be aware, you saw Georgia kind of go like, I don't like this. It's kind of a weird sensation, so they will do that. And let me know how that goes for you. All right. I think I saw a couple other people that I recommended that for. All right. So let's take a look real quick at the course, or sorry, the coaching page. Okay, and we'll go through a couple things on there. Cool week this week. Let's see, we talked about Scotch already. Oh, here's another person doing skin rolls. So you can do like two hands like this too. This was on some magazine. It's weird, there's not a ton of information out on skin rolling. You can also look up human skin rolling. That's where it comes from. So there you go. This was really interesting. So this was Ellie, and she had a lot of tension in her. You know what was funny? I want to show it to you actually. Hold on. So Ellie gave me one sign that she had tension in her withers, and she did it on both sides. And so I asked Julie to go back over and do the wither wiggle, and I think I knew that Julie knew the Masterson method. So okay, here it is. I think I knew that. So watch. There, did y'all see that? You see how quick that was? Okay, hold on, we're gonna watch again. Watch. Bam, that's it. That's all you get. Okay, that's all you get on that mare. So watch. That's all you got. So then other side, hold on. Okay, I think this is where she starts. Hold on. Watch. There's a release. There's a little tension. There's a little tension. Okay. So those tiny little signs were all that I had. And I was like, you know what? I think there's tension in that wither. And so I wanted her to do the wither wiggle. Now the wither wiggle, the wither is like this. Okay. Them withers stick up a lot. They're about 4 inches. Okay. And they're up like this. And what you do, I have to do it with my other hand. You go per wither. And if you can't feel them exactly, it's okay. But per wither, thumb and finger, bam, bam. Here, wiggle. Do you see how that moves down here at my joint? Wiggle. Wiggle. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna wait. So you try the very first one. Let me pull up a, you can't feel the first wither. So let me pull up. I should just have my computer set up as one side of an equine skeleton and the other side can be, this is stupid. That's not a correct. Oh, here's a good one. Okay. So, right, you guys cannot palpate these, sorry. So what you want to do is find the first one that you can, probably this one. This is a little bit off too, I'm going to be honest with you. But you see how long those are? These are only about 4 inches in reality. But you want to get like the first one that you can palpate, okay? And you're just going to go along the ridge there. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to do the first one and you put your finger on it and you wiggle it like this. If they blink, that's tension. You're going to stay there and keep wiggling until they release. Okay. Then give them a break. Second one, wiggle. It's tiny. It's a tiny movement because, I mean, think about how much you have. That's a lever, right? Think about how much you have to do. It's a very small amount to get that, to say, hey, relax. Okay. It's literally that much. That's all I do. Okay. Doom. Next one. You can probably palpate 5 or so. Okay. And then when I start getting down to where the back is coming in, I just start flattening my hand out and I'll actually go all the way down the spine. It's awesome. It's really nice. It's very relaxing for them. I don't know if you guys get massages, although I think that should be our homework again. But when they lay you on the table, right, and they put their hands like on kind of your lower back and then on your shoulders and they kind of rock you back and forth. I don't know if yours does that. That feels good. And it loosens that spine up for you. So I kind of compare it to that. All right. So I had Julie do that. And I'll tell you what, that was awesome. Okay. Because she's not showing a lot here. She's not showing a lot. But I was like, I was watching, I go, you know what? She had a head shake, like an annoyance head shake on the other side. And on this side, she kind of licked and chewed. So now I'm like thinking with her. So if you have any ideas, I want you to for sure just spend some time there. Okay, so let's go to the follow-up on that because it was cool. And I don't know, I might have watched the videos backwards. Oh, here we go. But watch. She instantly just starts, she yawns and yawns and yawns. It was wild. Okay. And she had a release on multiple releases on both sides. And there's still more tension in there. So if you watch these videos, this is on my coaching page. If you're on my coaching page, if you watch these 2 videos, there's more in there. So I'm going to have Julie go back and do more till it's gone, right? We don't need tension in the withers. Nobody likes that. But look at how much she's talking now. She didn't talk like that in the first one. So now we're getting some tension out and all of a sudden she really enjoyed this session. I'll tell you that. So that was special. Okay. This was a great video by Nancy. Kingston, I found it interesting that Kingston he was just so happy in this video. Like he didn't do any of his mouthy nervousness stuff. So I don't know if that was because he was outside or if he just felt super good. This is Jocelyn's follow-up with Joy. Joy didn't move a muscle, I swear, in this whole video. It was hilarious. So that was cool. I found you guys watching Clarissa here. Clarissa's quite reactive on her right side. So the other side, she was not reactive doing the scapula work. So that was interesting. Is this the first one? Candy, Little Miss Candy Pants had quite a reaction. Is this the first one? When was this? To the scapula rub. She did not like it, which is very rare. They normally love it. She did not care for it because she had tension in a couple different little areas. Oh yeah, there's the face. She had tension in a couple areas going down that scapula. So what I want to do anytime I see horses have a negative reaction out of nowhere, what I want to do is I want to slow my move down so that I can see she got a little bit there. I want to slow my move down so that I can see exactly where it's at, because on her, I don't believe it was the full scapula. It was part of the scapula that she didn't want rubbed. Okay. So you have to kind of slow down a little bit and find out where it's at. See, look. Look at her eye. There. See how she slowed down? Yeah. And I think it was down in this area. And then there was like one more spot up here somewhere. But when you're going fast, kind of like this, and that's how I start out most horses, you can't really tell where the discomfort is. So when you find an area they don't like, slow it down and just go kind of piece. There is a nice release. Go kind of piece by piece so that you can locate exactly where they don't like it and then spend a little bit of time there and be very specific about it. Okay. Look at that yawn. Yeah, she had a lot going on, but I think Kristen got it out in like this session, because the next session she had like nothing. It was awesome. Okay. Doodlebug lateral flexion. Yeah, this was the first one for, you could see these shoulders, right, guys? See how that's tight? That I want that to catch everybody's eye. Anytime you have a shoulder like this, where it's like too many shadows is one way you can look at it. Okay. Too many shadows. And a lot of times people will go, oh my gosh, my horse is so buff. I like buff horses. I do, but I want them soft and supple. I don't want them tight and buff. Okay. So when I can see the muscles of their body, that's an issue. The only muscle I want to see, and it's, you know, it's kind of the separation between the bicep femoris and the semitendinosus, is that line in the rump. Okay. Like this one here. That's the only muscle I want to see. I don't want to see any other ones. So like there's a little spot here on the neck too, right? We can see that. Okay. She's thoroughly enjoying this though. But no, she did so much work on that shoulder. It was fantastic. This isn't a super fun story. So you guys have been following along with this horse, right? He had the hyoid issue that was pretty awesome. I mean, it was pretty intense, right? So I had the first video where I was massaging him and I found the issue. And then Nancy and I have been doing a lot of work to loosen it up. That hyoid issue went all the way down. So the hyoids here went all the way down and went into this right side especially. So Nancy's been doing a ton of body work. He has a lot of little games that he likes to play. This is her fixing the lateral flexion. And Nancy had a bit fitter out. Isn't that cool? A bit fitter. Found him a new bit, and it's exactly what I envisioned. And I'm not a bit expert, but I was like, if this other bit caused, you know, it was a cool looking bit. It was like kind of like my pen, but a little thicker. And it was squishy and it was white and it looked really nice, but it was kind of flat. Okay. And so my question was, because it didn't have much of a bend to it, is if that bit was in his mouth and it was caught, remember hyoid, the tongue attaches to the hyoid. So if it's in his mouth and it's pressing on his tongue, he might be like, trying to get it up off of his tongue. Okay. And then that causes hyoid tension because when he's being ridden, he's doing that the whole time, right? So that tension goes all the way down the omohyoideus and sternohyoideus, all the way down his neck, all the way to the foreleg and the sternum. And he was reactive there. So my idea was, one, this bit does not have a break in it, so the tongue doesn't get a break. It's always pressing on the tongue. And I don't know if he was like fighting it too, or if it was just the pressing didn't allow it to move. Think about it. Think about restricting your tongue. You're going to have some issues from that. Okay. So my idea was get a broken one that's like broke, kind of like two pieces here and then like a little piece in the middle and like a curve like that. So yeah, they totally got that. That's what the bit fitter wants for him. So she ordered it. So I'm gonna have her take a photo and we're gonna follow up with that. Because we're guessing, right, you guys? We're guessing. I don't know. I don't know. But the thing is, she pays a lot of attention to that horse. And so I found the hyoid. I start thinking to myself, what's attached to the hyoid? All these things. And then I go, well, you know, when did this start? When did, because, oh, she also said he started having bridling issues. Okay, put the pieces together. So he started having bridling issues and now he has a hyoid issue. Those go together. Those go together. And so she started having bridling issues a couple months back. I don't remember, maybe 6 months or something. And the thing that changed was the bit. So that's what brought us to that. So hopefully, new bit, new lessen the problem. But one thing I want to make clear, you have to get the tension out. Okay, you put a new bit in his mouth, but you still have the tension. That tension's not going anywhere unless that horse is really good at releasing tension. That one's not. I'll tell you that. Okay, so if you have one of those like happy-go-lucky, they can release tension on their own. Some people say that they can't, but I think they can, because every horse is not running around with every ounce of tension they've ever had in their life. That's for sure. Right? That'd be crazy. So we're following up on that story. I think it's kind of cool to follow up on that stuff. But yeah, I was pretty happy with, like, this is why so many people are important in the horse world. Everyone's got a great position. Vets, chiropractors, massage therapists, bit fitters, saddle fitters, trainers, everybody. They're all important. Got to work together. Okay, nutritionists, it's a big deal. All right. So a lot of cool stuff. Fantastic work this week, you guys. Are there any questions? Any questions? If you are not on my mailing list, I have a post on my Facebook account, my public one, that you can get on there. Check that out. Anything else?
Erin, I have a question.
Yeah.
This is Carol. Jazz, well, I have the dentist is coming this week, and I cannot put my fingers in Jazz's mouth. I haven't been able to do jaw release. She just like throws her head, throws her head, throws her head. So I'm thinking there's something going on. So I did, I've been using positive reinforcement, just trying to get my hand near her mouth. I can rest it on her mouth. I did the hyoid, I did her face.
Nice.
I did the pectorals. I did all kinds of stuff today I wondered if you had any recommendations.
Yeah. Did you, so Nancy had a breakthrough with Kingston. He was tossing her around. So she used my other method where you loop. Have you tried that? You loop your hand under them and come up over their nose.
Yeah, I cannot. She just throws. She's a big girl, and she, she's not particularly tall. She's, 15, 1 or something, but she's just a stocky. She's a chunk, and she's always been difficult, but now she's like impossible.
So when's your dentist coming out?
Well, it's supposed to be Thursday, but I think I'm going to have to postpone.
Okay.
Because I've been, I've been trying to do the positive reinforcement kind of, just behaviorally, but I think there might be something going on that is,
Yeah, so I would definitely want to get the dentist out because your dentist will drug her up, right?
yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Definitely is not going to do any oral Dorma gel or anything because there's no way to get it in her face.
yeah, because you
Nope.
probably can't deworm her either.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
So I think that having the dentist, the vet out to get the teeth looked at, and I mean, this sounds horrible, but hopefully there is a problem, and
Yeah.
then you'll fix it, and then that'll take care of that part. And then when she doesn't feel so defensive about it, you might have better luck,
Yeah.
right? So that's kind of how I would uh do it. Sometimes you want them drugged up so you can actually do some work on them and show them that it's not the end of the world. Yeah, because you just gonna have to find a method that's gonna work. Nancy took her time when she was doing it, you know, so just spend a lot of time kind of around the face like you've been doing, hyoid, jaw, face, all that. This method is definitely going to be the stronger one for you. Holding the halter is not going to work.
No.
So I dewormed 3 horses this last 2 weeks, and it was hilarious how all 3 of them were different. Rebel, my boarder's horse, threw a little fit, and it was just wild, you know. And I was like, "What are you doing?" So I had to back her little booty into a corner and then clamp on, hold, and then right.
Yeah.
So that method works better because you have more control of their face than trying to hold on the halter. You don't have it. And
No,
then
not at all.
Georgia, I had to explain to her the situation in detail, and she went, "Fine, do it quick." And then Chester was like, "What's going on?" You know, and that fixed that. Um, you'll have to figure out some way. You know what? Videotape it for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Okay.
And try to videotape. I'll send you watch Nancy's last video of her
Okay.
doing Kingston's jaw release. It's called the jaw release redo or follow up or something like that. Because it's wild how much better he is. And it took her work. She worked at it. So I think you can get it over time. And then also let me know how the dentist goes.
Yeah. She travels quite a ways. She might have to just come back if we can't get her drugged up enough. It's really hard to get her sedated enough that she just is really, you know how they blow through the sedation if they get
I mean,
excited
she's
enough,
doing
you
that
know?
in the vein, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oof, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll videotape it. She
yeah.
just like repeatedly throat tosses her head up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah, I believe you. I mean, I believe you. Boone was doing that a little bit. So yeah, there's a lot of situations where that happens. So, I think wearing her down over time, because she's not going to be the type that is going to tolerate, you know, we're going to do it like this and that's how it's
Nope.
going to go, you know.
Nope, not at
So
all. And
you'll win her over, and if it takes, listen, I've had Chester a year, okay? If it takes time, it takes time. Yeah, Nancy also had Bunny, who's been bad
yep.
with her mouth also. So yeah, work around the face and start incorporating some relaxation and relief of tension in the face, and just keep doing what you're doing, but videotape it for me and I might have a couple more suggestions.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Of course, always. Anybody else? All right, that's what I got. You guys have your homework. Email me with questions. Nice having you guys. Talk to you later.